How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Aaron Loves Wrestling Podcast, ALW, and I am your host, Aaron Wrestling. Today we're going to go over weekly news, and after we get through this weekly news, I'm going to give my WrestleMania predictions of what I think should happen. Of course, leave yours in the comments below, subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it all over social media platforms. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at A_L_L_W_. Podcast. That's all Twitter would give me. So you can follow me on there too. And on Twitter during each night, such as tonight, I share tweets during the live episodes of AEW, Raw, SmackDown, and even NXT. So tune in tonight, and I plan on making a AEW post show episode, and we'll share here on YouTube as well. So let's kick things off with the Bray Wyatt news. According to Meltzer, Bray Wyatt is going under a physical issue, and that's the reason why he's missing WrestleMania. They did have plans for Wyatt versus Lashley, as we saw that after the match between Lashley and Lesnar, that Bray Wyatt was going to face the winner. And Lesnar got himself disqualified. Lashley, quote unquote, won the match by disqualification. So we go into Lashley versus Wyatt, and reasons that being is Lesnar supposedly, according to reports, did not want to work with Bray Wyatt. There's no confirmation on why. Probably because the character, he don't like it, or he just doesn't like Bray Wyatt. Who knows? There's no confirmation on why. There's not even confirmation on why on Brock Lesnar not wanting to face Bray Wyatt. Those are just a lot of made-up news and sources that you just read online. Online, you read a lot of clickbait, and there could be somebody heard something. They reported it. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm going to give my prediction on Bray Wyatt. There's a lot of other news as well going on about him returning at WrestleMania. That the Lashley versus Wyatt match could still be on. I don't want it to happen because there's no build. We had a couple of promos and that was it. And there's no build to this match. I mean, to me, WrestleMania needs to be story built. There needs to be stories going into WrestleMania. Or there's been long-going stories going on at the end of the year, starting at Royal Rumble with the Royal Rumble winner. Something. It doesn't need to be matches thrown together. And, quality over quantity is what I like. I don't care if there's only 4 matches on night 1 and 3 or 4 on night 2, as long as there is quality matches, which is good story. We don't need everybody crammed into WrestleMania just because it's WrestleMania and we got to get names on the card. No, I want to see story-driven matches going into WrestleMania and not just, hey, let's throw these 2 guys together or these 2 gals together and then let's see what happens. I don't want that. I want quality matches, good quality, which is story-driven, such as the Bloodline story. There's a little bit of a build with Flair versus Ripley, not much, but it's something. Asuka and Belair, there's not much of a story built there. The Edge versus Balor, that's been going on for over a year now with Judgment Day and Edge. And that's supposedly going to come to an end at WrestleMania. We'll see. So there are many matches going into this WrestleMania card, and also the Theory versus Cena match that's been going on as well. The teases, Theory dropping the clues. I mean, there's so much going into it. So there's a lot of matches on the card that are story driven, and those are the matches I am really going to pay close attention to and going to watch and enjoy. The other matches that I watch, the other matches such as Omos versus Lesnar, that was just thrown together for some reason. The 2 fatal 4-way tag team matches for the number 1 contender for the men's and women's tag team titles. Get more on that later. And Belair and Asuka is kind of thrown together because, they need big names on the card. We got to have every title match on the card, supposedly. We'll go over that later, too, but I think on separate women titles and the tag team titles, we'll go over that later as well in this episode. But back to the Bray Wyatt, I don't want it to be thrown together. I want a story-driven. If it's not story-driven, have Wyatt, he can come up and cost somebody a match or something and build a story that way after WrestleMania going into Backlash. Cody versus Bray Wyatt for the WWE titles, something. But we don't need just, we had plans with Lashley and Wyatt before. Wyatt's cleared now. Let's throw them together. No, we don't need that. We need story-driven matches at WrestleMania. That's what makes WrestleMania special. A lot of these stories come to a conclusion. Or big title changes, such as maybe Cody winning the WWE title for the first time. Just something, not just randomly throwing matches together. I hate the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I think that's ridiculous. It's just a way to get everybody on the card and maybe even bring in some legends to surprise in the Battle Royal. Who knows? I don't know. I just don't like it. The battle, in my opinion, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal should be really heavy set guys, giants even, not cruiserweights or light heavyweights or middleweight. Those guys don't need to be in that match. That's a Andre the Giant Battle Royal. It should be centered around the heavyweights, super heavyweights, and the giants in WWE, not throwing cruiserweights or light heavyweights. The little guys, they don't need to be in there. They need to be winning the match either. We need the heavyweights, super heavyweights, and giants. That's what that Battle Royale needs. To me, that will make it more, I guess, special, more of a meaning to it. The theme is Andre the Giant Battle Royal. So it should the first one who won it was Big Show, I think, if I remember correctly. If not, comment below who really won that match. I don't know. It's been a long time since this thing has started, and every year we have it, or almost every other year we have it. And to me, it's just a match where they can throw everybody on the WrestleMania card, every big name, or even have some surprises show up in the Battle Royal, treating it as a Royal Rumble-like match when it's not a Royal Rumble-like match. All you win is a big Andre the Giant trophy. That's it. Nothing to go out of it. If they really want to do something, they could, do the Money in the Bank ladder match. That would be something good, men's and women's. You can have one on night one on night two, something, and you get rid of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, or premium live event now. Sorry, forgive me, I didn't say it correctly. That's what I think should happen at WrestleMania. Get rid of this Andre the Giant Battle Royale match and a lot of other meaningless matches. That's what I think they should do. But what do I know? I'm just a fan. So I'm still going to sit back and watch and enjoy both shows. I give my opinions and my thoughts, but I don't dwell on, that sucks, or the negativity. I don't dwell on that as some people do. I give my honest opinion on these shows and give my thoughts, and then you share your thoughts, and I will talk about it, comment back, whichever. So Lashley and Wyatt may not happen WrestleMania. Wyatt's not even confirmed. I'm not sure what this physical issue is. It could be it could be an excuse because he did not like Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon is back and putting his thoughts in creative. Whole reason why it came back was because Triple H was in charge, and it looked like Vince McMahon was on his way out last year at the whole investigation, and now that's all swept underneath the rug because of money. And Vince McMahon is back, head of board of directors, and he's selling the company. And of course, I'm sure he's bulldozing his way back into creative, back into Gorilla, and running the shows and putting his thoughts in on the matches, and this way it should be done this way, it should be done that way. So now you're going to have two complete opposite I wouldn't say masterminds, but two completely different heads back there going to be calling these shows, with Vince McMahon doing his thing and Triple H trying to do his thing and pleasing the fans and what he thinks should be done. And he's also trying to go back to the old school style type wrestling in WWE. So we will see about how this is going to play out, because both heads butting together, I don't see that being a good thing at all. Eventually one's going to cave, and then it's going to be one head. In my opinion, it's going to be Vince McMahon. He's going to eventually strong arm his way in, kick Triple H out. He already has so many others, Stephanie McMahon and many other that are in the boards of directors, and he's selling the company. And supposedly we're getting there's rumor going around that we might hear an announcement here shortly of the who's buying WWE. Who knows if that's even going to happen? There's a lot of speculation that we're supposed to hear news at WrestleMania. Vince McMahon is going to come out at WrestleMania and announce who he's selling to, and that's a way for him to get in on WrestleMania. We'll see. I'm kind of concerned about it because there's a few buyers, in my opinion. I don't want to buy the company because it will totally destroy the company and ruin it. There, a lot of people say, "Oh, they're just going to buy the company." No, some people, a couple buyers on the list, in my opinion, such as the Saudis, they're going to want to do their own thing, and every time they go over for the crown jewel, it's really political, and they're not really big on pushing women and stuff like that. I think it would be a bad idea to buy them, for them to buy it. But Vince McMahon wants money, and that's his main focus. He, as right now, it doesn't seem like he cares about the company at all. He just wants his money for whatever reason. He doesn't have enough money, and he wants more when he's 77 years old and on his way out. I mean, I don't understand it, but Vince McMahon. He's always done things that are his way or the highway, and here we go again, and this could be the end of WWE. Vince McMahon, when he bought it, it's always been his little baby, and nobody else getting involved, nobody else doing their own thing. It's Vince McMahon's way or no way. And if you don't do it, then you'll get buried, and then you'll eventually be pushed out of the company. And for someone to take over, Vince McMahon doesn't like it. So even if it is Triple H or his own family, I thought it would get passed down just like his dad passed it down to him, but apparently not. Apparently he's going to do his own thing. Moving on. Next is Edge versus, moving on this, there's possibility of LA Knight versus Bobby Lashley, just to get Bobby Lashley on the WrestleMania card, I guess. I don't know, and LA Knight. I disagree with it. No story there. I don't want random matches thrown on the show. So, but right now they confirmed Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Keep it at that. And there you go. There's your quote-unquote WrestleMania. They're doing WrestleMania SmackDown. It's supposedly WrestleMania, more WrestleMania. They just throw a label on SmackDown and Raw, calling it WrestleMania Raw, WrestleMania SmackDown, which gives me concerned. Backlash is going to be called WrestleMania Backlash again. And I hated that name. It's stupid. Backlash, that's it. It's always been Backlash. And then they changed it to WrestleMania Backlash, and to me, it's a corny name. It's another gimmick theme name, and I hate it. Triple H got rid of a lot of those premium live events that were themed gimmick matches, and he got rid of them because he hates them. He thinks they're dumb. I hope eventually he gets rid of the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Less pay-per-views. WWE has put on a pay-per-view every single month, and it gets stories no room to breathe, and we don't need it. Just every few months have a pay-per-view. WrestleMania right now, give it some time to breathe, and then have Backlash 2 months later. Get some things time to breathe, more stories to build up leading to WrestleMania. Backlash, the theme is, rematches from WrestleMania, which is ridiculous. But that was kind of the theme for Backlash when it started. So we might see that WrestleMania, a lot of rematches on Backlash, such as Cody versus Roman, Belair versus Asuka, possibly Ripley versus Flair, possibly a lot of rematches from WrestleMania. And then they're going to create new stories, such as possibly the women's tag team title matches with the Fatal 4-Way number one contender match going on. Same for the men's with the undisputed titles, or we might get a rematch with that too. I would like for this whole Bloodline story to come to an end at WrestleMania, or if they're going to continue with it until next year's WrestleMania, that would be good as well. But you gotta give us something, not just stale storytelling and the same old. We need something more. I think it has hit its peak, and it comes to an end this weekend at WrestleMania. Sammy and Kevin beat the Usos, and Cody beats Roman, and we get the rumored new WWE title. But again, we'll get to that later on. So next is Edge versus Balor is supposedly confirmed for night 2. It wasn't going to be night 1, and they switched to night 2. Why, I don't know. Possibly the Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins match. They confirmed Monday night is night 1, and the reason being is because April 1st is Logan Paul's birthday. So he probably wanted a WrestleMania match on his birthday. That's probably what it was. So I like Edge versus Balor on night 2 anyway. It's a big match. Night 2 should have more of your big matches. You can have 1 or 2. I mean, you got a couple already, Cena versus Theory, and then hopefully the main event will be Owens and Zayn versus the Usos. It does not need to be Charlotte versus Ripley for the SmackDown Women's title. There's just not enough story there to make it a big main event type match. Are they big names? Yes, they're big names. But I would like to see the tag team titles main event WrestleMania, something that hasn't been done, I don't think, since WrestleMania 1, when it was Mr. T and Hogan versus Roddy Piper and whoever it was. That's how long it's been. I think that's the main event night 1 of WrestleMania because of the story that we've been given, we've had with the Bloodline and Owens and Cody. It's just all of it come to an end in the main events of night 1 and night 2. That's what I think should be. And not Edge versus Balor, supposedly. Again, this is all speculation of what I've read online on the internet. Nothing has been confirmed by WWE yet. Edge and Balor night 2. Again, I agree with it. Maybe that kicks off night 2 of WrestleMania, and then you end it with Cody versus Roman for the titles. That would probably be a good idea to do. Because that match is going to be great. Gangrel is rumored to return with Edge as part of the Brood entrance, and he's supposed to get involved at some point with Damian Priest during the match. Now, I pitched, hopefully, they can get Christian involved, and at Backlash, we can have Brood versus Judgment Day. I think that would be something interesting, something fun. And then we can end this Judgment Day Edge storyline at Backlash, extend it a little bit further just for this little fun match of the Brood versus Judgment Day. But Christian is under an AEW contract, so that's highly unlikely. There's rumor again, reading on the internet. Don't take anything serious. Take it all with a grain of salt. There's a rumor going around saying that Tony Khan is open for Christian to return just for that. I don't see it happening because he did not do that with Billy Gunn and the DX anniversary last year, because Billy Gunn was involved with the big storyline on the AEW tag team, and for him to show up on WWE, to me, I think it would help both shows. I don't see why these owners think it would be bad for their show if somebody showed up on the other show. And wrestling fans have been wanting to see that since WCW versus WWF back in the Monday Night Wars. And then when you saw that, of course, many of the fans tuned in to their guy, such as Lex Luger when he debuted, and then Bret Hart and many others that jumped ship, the Outsiders, Nash and Hall, rest in peace Hall, and they formed the NWO with Hogan, and a lot of fans tuned back in WWF. Maybe we see some WCW guys show up, and we did with the likes of Chris Jericho and some other low names, not as big, but since then, and then when Vince bought WCW, there was a story that I read that the whole story of him buying the company was supposed to be on hush hush, and he was going to do the Monday Night Wars, but he could not get Hogan, Sting, and a lot of the big name WCW guys involved because they didn't want to work with Vince McMahon. Well, it's because Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, it's his way or no way, and many wrestlers don't want to work under that. They want their input on creative. Now, in my opinion, some with their inputs are good, some they're not so good, but I mean, I would like to have that freedom too. So them having freedom of their creative decisions, of course, you don't give them too much. Like when WCW did with Hogan, he had like 100% say in his matches. That, I think, doesn't need to be involved. But for them to have some kind of input in creative, hey, well, what about this? Of course, nothing going against the match or whatever, or saying, oh, I'm not going to do that. But hey, what if we do this? What if we do that? Vince can be open to it. But supposedly, he shut all that down. No, we're doing it this way. That's it. And if you didn't agree, or if you gave any kind of opinion, disrespecting his thoughts or whatever, I guess, then he would bury you. And then he'd bury you to the point where it would send you on out, or you'd be sitting at home collecting a paycheck and not be able to do your job or not be able to wrestle because you're in a contract. So you can't go wrestle for somebody else until your contract's up. So you're just sitting at home getting paid. So that's Vince McMahon for you. In my opinion, when he goes at some point, WWE is going to be a lot better. Well, depending on who buys the company here in the next few months. but I think it's going to be better, especially if Triple H is in charge and has full control. I think it's going to be great. If Shawn Michaels full control of NXT. NXT has been great since the 2.0 fiasco. I think this new NXT is a lot better. There's a lot of great talent on there. A lot of hope for the future for WWE with some of those guys. If you don't watch NXT, I mean, you need to, because the future is there. There's a lot of good guys on there. Braun Breaker, not Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Nathan Frazier, Axiom's even good. The Creed brothers, the tag team. Then there's Shanghai and Veer Mahan. To me, they're a good tag team. And there's a lot of good tag teams coming up. Gallus, even Pretty Deadly, they're good. There's a lot of good tag teams coming up. Even in the women's division, you got Roxanne Perez, and then you got JC Jane and JT Dolan and Kia Lyons and many others. There's a lot of good wrestlers coming up into the company, to the main roster. And of course, they're getting new people trained to fill their spots in NXT, and they're going to build them up. NXT is a good farm system from WWE, and it has been proving time and time again, especially when Shawn Michaels and Triple H is involved and they get their hands on it, it is going to be great. Now, the problem back in the day is when you've seen guys and girls from NXT come up on the main roster, they get treated as a joke. And Vince didn't like it. Why? Because Vince didn't create it. Vince didn't have his hands on it. It was all Triple H. And then if you don't believe me, then go back to when Karrion Kross first debuted on the main roster. He took Scarlett from Karrion Kross and then put him some stupid, I don't know what to call that, what he wore. Again, it was something like Axe and Smash type tag team stuff like back in the day. I mean, it was just a ridiculous outfit, ridiculous entrance, ridiculous. And Karrion Kross hated it, and therefore him and Scarlett left because it wasn't what Triple H had it with them working together, such as you see on SmackDown now. And the same for many others. Johnny Gargano, Time Lost Champion. Why do you think they stayed in NXT for so long? Because they knew going to main roster and Vince McMahon, they would get buried. And then eventually there would be no use for him because Vince McMahon doesn't see any future with those guys, and he don't think those guys are good for some whatever reason. His hands aren't on it, so he don't like it. So that's Vince McMahon for you. If you don't believe me, go look at past the history of WWE. And you will see that. Why do you think Sting for so long did not want to work for WWE? And then when he did, look what happened. Sting wanted that Undertaker fantasy match like everybody else wanted. Vince is like, nah, let's do Triple H, the old WCW WWE war. And then, of course, Triple H wins, rubbing it more in their faces. Like, hey, I beat you. Who cares? And I love how Sting came out on the promo one night. It's like, I'm not here for some forgotten war. The war is over. You bought the company. You won. Who cares? I would have loved to see the Undertaker versus Sting match. Everybody would have. And then Vince McMahon, again, ruined it. And now we're never going to see it because Undertaker's retired. Sting is almost on his way out. He's doing his last hoorah on AEW, supposedly, and he's building up Darby Allin tremendously. So, thanks, Vince. We never got to see that match. So, moving on. From Edge and Finn Balor, rumored night 2. It's going to be awesome. There's a story on the Carmella injury, why she isn't teaming up with Chelsea Green. That's why they replaced her with Sonya Deville. Supposedly she's injured, and it just, they didn't share what the injury was, but this is what's weird. Bray Wyatt and Carmella both injured, but not explaining what are the injuries. To me, that's why I find it kind of suspicious if they really are injured, if there was some backstage heat going on, because normally they share injuries. Normally they share who got injured, what it is, and why, and how long they're going to be out. These are hush-hush injuries. They're personal injuries. Okay, what is it? They're personal. Okay, cool. And also there could be some kind of, legal aspect, because you can't really share stuff without the person's consent, so they probably want it to stay under the radar and not be shared. That could be involved too. May not be more than what we're thinking it is. So bottom line, Carmella's missing WrestleMania. Who knows when she'll be back? Who knows when Bray Wyatt will be back? But we'll see. And now for the big news right now. Now then after this, we'll get into my WrestleMania predictions. The big news, the new WWE title belt has been confirmed and approved by Triple H, and it is ready to be introduced any day now. It could be introduced at WrestleMania. It could be introduced on SmackDown this weekend, and they say, well, whoever wins, this is the new belt. It could be introduced on Monday Night Raw after Mania. Who knows? And let's take into consideration Vince McMahon is back. So we'll see if we actually see that title ever. I mean, Vince McMahon is back. I mean, this is all Triple H's stuff. And like I just said before, when Triple H sent wrestlers up to the main roster, Vince McMahon, did his thing with them and wrote them off and then sent them off. And then they eventually left the company. So obviously there's two complete different minds back there. And we'll see who trumps who. We'll see. Obviously, it'll probably be Vince McMahon because his company's back with 80% shares of the company. He's back in full power. I wouldn't say full power, but basically full power. So we'll see who beats who. I don't know, but new title. Also, the story has it because Triple H hates the Universal title. He doesn't. Well, I wouldn't say hate it. They say he doesn't like it. I don't like it either. I think it's a ridiculous title. The red belt, then the blue belt, then the red belt. Well, if it goes to NXT, you want to make it gold? I mean, it's ridiculous. I hate the belt. Bring back the big gold belt, World Heavyweight title. That belt was amazing. Still amazing today. You can add a modern twist to it if you want. A lot of fans are saying, oh, no, it's in the time in its past. We need to evolve and move on, blah, blah, blah. No, to me, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The World Heavyweight title is still a good title. Of course, you got to put the right story have the right story involved, have the right wrestlers involved, because the wrestlers make the title, not the title make the wrestlers. Look at the Intercontinental title, Gunther. That title was basically dead for the past few years. Hardly any story involved, hardly anything involved. Gunther comes along, he wins the Intercontinental title, and it's one of the main top titles on SmackDown. And who knows, might be Raw with the draft. Supposedly there's going to be a draft after WrestleMania. I would like for it to happen night one, Monday Night Raw, or at least that week after. Give some time to breathe, and then if not the Monday Night Raw immediately after WrestleMania, then that next Monday Night Raw, and then have the draft go on there. It's a 3-hour show. I think they can get the draft picks involved in a 3-hour show. But there's a new title approved. There's no confirmation on if it's going to be a World Heavyweight-like title. There's no confirmation if it's going to be split titles again with the SmackDown having the main title, Raw having the main title. This is my personal opinion on what they should do. There are too many titles, both in AEW and WWE. AEW had the Ring of Honor titles involved, and there was like 40 titles on the show. Ring of Honor Television title, Ring of Honor Heavyweight title, Ring of Honor Pure title, Ring of Honor Tag Team titles, then the AEW, and then the Ring of Honor overshadowed the AEW titles. Too many titles ruins the prestige of a title. Many people, oh no, more titles. No, it's not about who was champion. It's about the story. It's about how valuable the championship is. That is what brings value and prestige to a title. This is what I say. This is my opinion. This is what I think would be great. Drop your opinions in the comments below and what you think about this. There should be one main title, WWE World Heavyweight title. One. Then, of course, your Intercontinental United States title. One women's main title. Your tag team titles. Get rid of the Raw SmackDown tag team titles. Bring in a new design for the WWE World Heavyweight Tag Team title or WWE Tag Team Champions. And then, there's not enough teams for the women, but then they already have one set of tag team titles. That's how it should be. The champions benefit as they can jump from show to show. After you have the draft, each brand has their set roster, and then you have the champions, and part of the champions benefit, the champions, what they can do is go from show to show, and they can wrestle whoever they want. Once they drop that title, then whichever brand they were drafted to during the draft, then they're stuck on that show until they win champion. That would bring value and prestigious to the championship that everybody wants. And I think it would be good. You can tell some stories out of it. There won't be so many titles. And then outside of the titles, you can have stories going on, the number one contender matches, etc. Triple H is bringing back King and Queen of the Ring. The winner of that faces the champion at SummerSlam. Just so many. And of course, your Money in the Bank. To me, ditch the pay-per-view or premium live event and have it at WrestleMania each year, just like how it used to be. And then that whole year, they have a shot of cashing in on whoever they want, of course, and that's their benefit of being Money in the Bank winner. They can go show to show as well to cash the briefcase on the champion of their choosing. So I say one champion, one set for a champion. They can jump from show to show. And then, of course, each brand has their selective rosters and they wrestle. And also, when it comes around to Survivor Series, we can bring back the brand warfare, have general managers set for each show. That's what we need. But Adam Pearce is doing both shows. He's doing great. I love Adam Pearce as the GM. He's doing great. He's a great authority figure. But I would like to see him be GM of one show and then select somebody else, in my opinion, bring in a legend if they want to do it, such as Hogan, such as even Undertaker, or just bring in Paul Heyman. See if Eric Bischoff would be open to it. Something to bring back another GM, and then we have that brand rivalry, spark that back up and make it meaningful how Bischoff and Heyman did back in 04 and 05. I mean, they just made it to where, oh no, my brand's better, no, my brand's better, your brand sucks. They just brought that competitiveness with the brand, and of course the wrestlers got involved, and to me it just was fun. And you got two separate brands, so make it like that. That's what I would like to see. Each brand have their own top star and everything like that, and you only have one title when it comes down to the WWE draft. Who gets the champion? Obviously the number one, just like the NFL draft. You want to be that team as the number one pick, so you can select anybody you want to benefit your team. Just like at WWE, they can do that with the champion. When you have two set of champions, obviously you know where the Raw Tag Team Champions are going. Obviously you know where SmackDown Tag Team Champions are going. Same for the women's championship. Now, they did a little twist last year where Becky and Charlotte got drafted each show and they just traded the titles off. That was stupid. Make one champion, that's it, and then they select anybody else out of that. There you go. Intercontinental champion, United States champion could go from show to show. Or only the world champion could go to show, women and men, and then your United States and Intercontinental title is set for that brand, whichever they can draft to do. That would probably be better in my opinion. That's just my thoughts on it. Triple H doesn't like Universal title belt. The whole point of this, he's bringing a new one. Can't wait to see it. There's a new picture going around with Cody's logo on it's a modern twist of the old school WWF gold winged eagle belt, with their logo on there. Of course, the side plates, they don't have the names on there anymore. And they are, and that's going around. Not sure if that's the title. If so, that would be great. I mean, that title looks great in my opinion. But we'll see. Hopefully soon we will see this title. I don't know. After that, weekly news, let's go into WrestleMania predictions. And there's confirmation of night 1 matches and night 2. Night 1, you got your John Cena versus Austin Theory for United States title. And then you got Rollins versus Paul in their match. Who knows what is going to go where. But I'm going to go over these matches, which night I think they should fall on. But first, we're going to start with the John Cena Austin Theory match. There's speculation John Cena is going to win. And then he comes out with an open challenge on Monday Night Raw the next night. Call up from NXT, such as maybe Braun Breaker or whoever, will come up and challenge him and win the title. And then that's how they get it off of Theory. And then that's how they get it off of Cena. But me, I would like Austin Theory to win, to kind of set that he's over and he's going to move on to, greener pastures, and then hopefully challenge for the world title. Austin Theory has been great as of late. again, if you don't see the difference between Triple H and Vince McMahon, look at Austin Theory, for instance. Look, he's a prime example. Austin Theory to Vince McMahon, Austin Theory to Triple H. Austin Theory to Vince McMahon, he was doing selfies, he was doing all this teenager-like stuff. And then Triple H gets a hold of him, slowly changes him into what he is now, building it. And now Austin Theory, to me, is a main event player. And even after WrestleMania, especially if he loses the title, he can go and challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. Whether he'd win or lose or not, I don't know. I would say he'd lose, and we have this story with Cody versus Theory. Because I don't want to see Cody drop the belt that quick after WrestleMania. I want to have a good, successful title run for a good while. It doesn't have to be a year, 2 or 3, like Roman, but something more than a month or between a pay-per-view. So we'll see. I pick Theory win, go over. Cena puts over Theory, but I like the idea of Cena winning the title, and then he has an open challenge, and a new NXT call-up comes up, such as Braun Breaker. I'm a huge Braun Breaker fan. Him come up and win the United States title. That's my conclusion on that. I pick Theory, but I like the other idea too. Next, we go to Ray versus Dominic, father versus son match. Now, let me pitch this idea. I want it still to be one-on-one with Ray versus Dominic, but I thought it was interesting how Santos Escobar and the Phasma tag team group, LDF, they came out and helped with Judgment Day. We could carry this on after WrestleMania to where have this father-son little doubt. Maybe Ray wins, Dominic's still bitter. He gangs up, they keep ganging up on Ray. Del Phasma comes out, they help, and then you got Santos and Ray versus Dominic and Damian Priest, or Dominic and Finn Balor, whoever. That to me will be a good match at Backlash, not WrestleMania. At first I was thinking, well, that could be interesting at WrestleMania. I still want to see the one-on-one father versus son match. And then we have that lead up to Backlash with the tag team match, or 6-man tag team match. Balor, and since this Balor and Edge feud's coming to an end, or come to an end at Backlash, Santos, Edge, and Ray versus Damian Priest, Balor, and Dominic. We could do that at Backlash, and they could come to a conclusion there. Or have Santos, Ray, and then one of the other guys, or both of them, 4-on-4. Judgment Day finds a new recruit, supposedly. And then you can have Finn, Dominic, Damian, and the new recruit that comes in versus Ray and LDF. That would be great as well. But I also had another twist and idea to this. There's been Vicky Guerrero's been going out saying she would love to be a part of this storyline because Dominic is shown as a Eddie Guerrero 2.0. A lot of people disagree with that. I think he's selling it. I think he's great at it. And at first it kind of rubbed me wrong, but lately, under Triple H now, he has made it to where he's a really good heel. And he's like Eddie 2.0. I don't think Ripley's a China 2.0. I think Ripley is far better than China, in my opinion, with the wrestling and the promo skills and such. But that's what they're trying to build it as, Eddie and China with Ripley and Ripley and Dominic. But have the Guerreros come involved for this at WrestleMania. Chavo Guerrero or Vicky Guerrero are both. They'll be there at least in the crowd. And have their story built into this, and then maybe it can carry on to Backlash as well, or one of them be the special guest referee for this match. I think that'd be fun. Ray versus Dominic, though, I would like to see. I don't know, I'm bittersweet about it. I'm not sure if Ray wants to retire or not. If he does, and then Dominic wins, and then Ray retires. He retires his father. They could set it up for SmackDown. The big stipulation: Ray loses, he retires. But what might see Ray win, and we get that tag team match with Santos, maybe even Edge involved against Judgment Day. Because they're not going to get Christian for the Brood versus Judgment Day, the fantasy matchup, which I think will be great, but we'll see. Next, we have the men's fatal 4-way tag team match for #1 contender spot. Again, another match just to throw some guys on the show. I'm interested in it. I'm seeing how, especially what the guys did Monday night in the 8-man tag team match. I would like to see Alpha Academy or Viking Raiders win and go compete for the tag team titles. They were a team that's been they've been overlooked so many times, and I would like to see them do it. Strowman and Ricochet is a fun tag team, but I don't want to see them win. They're not a solid tag team like these guys have been for years. Street Profits. That's what I hate about them getting single stars and just randomly thrown together, and then they're the tag teams and they go and win the titles and such. With Sammy and Kevin is a exemption. You know, I like them as they should have been a tag team a long time ago. So I would like to see one of the 3 established tag teams win this match, not Ricochet and not Strowman. I would like to see Street Profits, Alpha Academy, or Viking Raiders. Really, I'd like to see Alpha Academy because I really think they're good. Kind of like that annoying heel tag team. Chad Gable's great. Otis is great. Shut down the stupid Maximum Male Model story that they're trying to do and pull Otis involved as another quote-unquote Mandy and Otis storyline. We've seen that once before. It was great then. Don't ruin it now with somebody else. Not putting any hate on the Maxine Dupree, whatever her name is. But we've already seen it before. Let's not see it again. Keep Alpha Academy a solid tag team. Maximum Male Models can just all be redone altogether. I mean, the tag team is ridiculous. I would like to see Mansoor and whatever that guy's name is, they become a better tag team. Mansoor go back to his roots of his nationality and what he was doing there, and now they just turned him into a joke with this Maximum Male Models team. And then same for the other guy, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was an announcer, and then it looks like he might have back in 2019 he was on there with Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole, and it looked like he was going to have a feud with Lesnar because Lesnar was pushing around Jerry Lawler, and then this guy comes in and stands up to Lesnar, gets demolished. Obviously, you don't see him for a few weeks, and he comes back. I thought they was going to go somewhere with that, and maybe they were, and they were like, scratch it, let's go on with something else. So probably Lesnar versus Roman for the 800th time. And then now the guy's treated like a joke in this Maximum Models where you can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. If you remember his name, drop it in the comments below. But I hope they scrapped that whole idea. Put Maxine Dupree with somebody else that kind of fits her. I don't want to see her with LA Knight. LA Knight's good on its own right now. Don't want to see her back with LA Knight, but somebody else pretty deadly would be pretty good, in my opinion. She'd be the manager for them. But my pick, Alpha Academy to win this. That's my pick. And then they go and challenge Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the tag team titles. Moving on to the women's fatal four-way. This was just something to throw together just to get Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler on the show. Because Ronda was injured for so long, and then I guess she got cleared. So they're like, hey, let's just throw this together, and they win the match. They're going to win the match. My pick to win the match, my personal pick, I wouldn't mind seeing DeVille and Green win the match. They have a good vibe to them as a tag team, but it's going to be Rousey and Baszler to face Becky and Lita at Backlash for the women's tag team titles. You can see it coming a mile away. This is what's going to happen. Just to get the Becky versus Ronda deal, which we already seen at WrestleMania 35 in the main event, triple threat match. And then supposedly there's rumor going around Trish Stratus is going to stick around a little bit longer to feud with Becky. She might cost them the tag team titles at Backlash. There's some hints dropping. Maybe she costs them the match against Damage Control this weekend. But we'll see. I don't know. My pick, DeVille and Green, but it's going to be Ronda and Baszler. So that's what's going to happen there. But I'm probably not even going to watch that match. I'll watch the men's match, but probably not going to watch that one. Moving on to the big triple threat intercontinental title match. Man, this is the hard one to choose because I love Gunther, I love Sheamus, I love Drew. This is my pick, honestly. This is what I want. Gunther wins. He goes on a dominant intercontinental title reign and it breaks the intercontinental title reign record, which is held by the Honky Tonk Man at like 420 something days. I think the number is. I'm not entirely sure. Gunther right now, I think, is at that 300 mark. So another few months. Now, a lot of people are saying they'd love to see Sheamus win the title he's never had, and WrestleMania is the perfect spot. I agree with that also. I honestly would not care who wins this match. I'm going to be ecstatic either way, because I would not mind seeing Drew McIntyre as the Intercontinental Champion again. He hasn't been the Intercontinental Champion in years, probably since he first started as the Chosen One. I would love to see that. But honestly, what I really would love to see, and this is what weighs it out. This is my prediction. This is my pick. I'm probably going to be wrong. Gunther wins, continues the reign, breaks the record, and then he can drop it. And then you can put him involved with Cody for the world title, and then get him, get that feud going for the world title. And who knows, Cody could drop it to Gunther, and Gunther be another champion, dominant champion that could go on. We had the Bloodline, Imperium. Have Imperium. I don't even know why Imperium's not in this fatal 4-way tag team match. They can replace Ricochet and Strowman, and then you have 4 good, solid tag teams in this match instead of just 2 random stars thrown together, and you can do better with Ricochet and Strowman. Or just not even have them on the WrestleMania card. That's fine, too. I don't get the whole point of having to throw everybody on the card. But Imperium's not on the card. Imperium's probably going to get involved in the Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre triple threat match, because there's like no DQs in a triple threat match. So I can see Kaiser and Vinci getting involved there to try to help Gunther win the title, which probably be a good idea to help Gunther win the title, because him against both these guys is going to be hard to do. So that's how he can win the title and continue his long reign as the Intercontinental Champion and break the record, even go past the record for a good while, maybe at 500 days or something. Gunther is a perfect Intercontinental Champion. I just love him. I just wish the European title was around, because he'd be a good, perfect European champion. But my pick, Gunther, continues the reign, but honestly would not care who wins this match, because this match is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for this match. I'm bittersweet of this match, main event night 1, or the Undisputed Tag Team title match, main event night 1. Both these are big, have stories around the title matches. So either one, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing this be in the middle of the card of night 1 or night 2, and then you have whatever match fill in before the main event, somewhere around there. That's what I like to see, because this match, it doesn't need to go right before the main event, because it's going to overshadow the main event of night 1 or night 2. May not overshadow the Cody versus Roman championship match, but it definitely will night 1, with even if it is Usos versus Owens and Sami for the Undisputed Tag Team titles. But this match is going to be great. I love it. Can't wait to see it. But Gunther all the way. Finn Balor versus Edge, Hell in a Cell. Again, the word has it, it's all hearsay. I can't wait to see it. Brood entrance, Gangrel's involved. He's going to get involved with the match to fight off Damian Priest. And we're going to see Edge versus quote-unquote Devil Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor. Glad the Demon Finn Balor is back. I love seeing it. I love seeing the Demon pop up in certain matches, like he did last year, a couple years ago with Roman for the Universal title. And now you got it coming back with Edge. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back not a lot, bringing him back too much. Like, I would like to see him come back as the Demon and face the Fiend, because a rumor that Bray Wyatt might be the Fiend again, because the whole stunt he's been doing the past few months has not been what they expected. So they'll probably, word has it, they're going to get involved, bring the Fiend back. Bray Wyatt's going to somehow transform back to the Fiend. I don't want to see it with the Firefly Funhouse. Just have Bray be the Fiend. Or have Bray be the old school Bray Wyatt he was with the Wyatt family, with the hillbilly look and the rocking chair and stuff like that. That's what I'd like to see, those two ways. This whole new Fiend, with what he has done with lately with Uncle Howdy and Uncle Harper, etc. We thought it was going to go somewhere, but it didn't. So I'm going back as the Fiend with the Wyatt 6. He can still keep the alter ego type thing. Just have it to be where he's Bray Wyatt and not the Firefly Funhouse bullcrap. That's just so stupid and ridiculous. I just don't want to see that ever again. Have the Wyatt 6 come involved. Karrion Kross is the White Rabbit. Alexa Bliss is Sister Abigail. There's rumors she's might be showing up too at WrestleMania with Bray Wyatt as Sister Abigail. And then somehow get these guys from they're called the Righteous, from the independent scene. Their names are Vincent and Dutch. I think their names are. They could come in as the other a part of the group as well. I think that would be great. Or, my opinion, Schism with Bray Wyatt. Joe Gacy, the pig character. Rip Fowler, the vulture character. The rabbit is Reed. And you can even have Ava Rain as Abby the Witch. That, I think, would be great. Or Ava and Alexa, kind of like a little duo there. And they can be a tag team. That's what I'd like to see. Schism pair up with Bray Wyatt, and they're the Wyatt Six. And they go with Bray Wyatt and his ways and drop their ways of Schism, you know, that child's-like play, you know. That would be great, too. I think that would be a perfect fit. And then Demon Balor versus Fiend Bray Wyatt. But Demon Balor and Edge in this match. Back to this. My pick, I would like to see Demon Balor win, but it's probably going to be Edge, and he finally puts an end to this whole Judgment Day rivalry. So we'll see about that. My pick, Finn Balor, but it's probably going to be Edge. But I can't wait to see the whole Brood entrance come back, especially Gangrel. It was awesome to see Edge bring it back last year and by himself, but to him to bring it back with Gangrel, I just wish they could get Christian involved. It would be so great. Because this is Edge's last run. I would just love for them to get Christian involved, and Christian, Edge, and Gangrel one more time and even face Judgment Day. Honestly, I would love to see Edge and Randy Orton back together. Rated RKO, even have a good match with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Edge's pitch, he would love to work with Sami Zayn. This could be a good way to get them together. Plus, tag team matches always helps the legends out because it's half work, you know, especially with Randy Orton and his back issues going on. He's rumored to be back this week at WrestleMania as well. That would be awesome. So having Rated RKO get back together for one last hoorah before Edge retires, I would love it. So Edge is probably going to win this match, but my pick's going to be Finn Balor. Then you got the 6-woman tag team match with Lita, Trish, and Becky, the quote-unquote legends versus Damage Control. I'm not so big and hyped on this match that it's just a way for them to get big names on the names on the card because it's WrestleMania Hollywood. So they're trying to make it really, really big. Right now I have a total of 13 matches wrote down. 13 for WrestleMania. Night 1 and Night 2. That's a lot. Again, I value quality over quantity. I'd rather this to be around 8 matches, and then a couple of these matches, such as the 2 Fatal 4-Way matches, the 6-woman tag team match, and Rollins versus Paul. Not really. We can all ditch those. It's just a way to get all these guys on WrestleMania. That's all it is. But I'd rather it broken down to around 8 and 9 tag team. Or 8 to 9 matches, and quality over quantity. Story driven in WrestleMania makes it always better. So more than likely it's going to be Edge, Trish, and Becky. Lita, Trish, and Becky to win this match. Lita, Trish, and Becky, not Edge. Lita, Trish, and Becky win this match, but the story going around that Trish is going to turn on Lita and Becky and cost them the match, and Damage Control wins, and then that could lead into Backlash or one of the Raws here shortly to where they put the titles on the line against Damage Control or the winner of the Fatal 4-Way. You could have added Damage Control in that match. You didn't need the 6-woman tag team match. You could have Becky and Lita sit outside, even with Trish there. They don't have to be in a wrestling match. Watching this #1 Contenders Fatal 4-Way match, throwing DeVille and Green together, put in Damage Control, and there you go. But it is what it is. My pick, Lita, Trish, and Becky. Probably going to be Trish costing them the match, and Becky Control wins, or Damage Control wins. Becky Control. Damage Control wins. I'm so tongue twisted right now. But yeah, that's what I picked. Becky, Lita, and Trish. Then you have the Raw Women's Title match, Bayley versus Asuka. This match was kind of thrown together because Ripley won the Royal Rumble, and she chose Charlotte Flair as her opponent. So they just threw this together. I liked how they did it with the #1 Contenders match, Elimination Chamber, and Asuka did win the match. I like that. So I don't know, bittersweet, because I'd like to see Belair win and continue her long title reign, and somebody else come in and beat her for the belt. Maybe even Charlotte Flair. After if she could drop the SmackDown title to Ripley, and then you get Charlotte Flair involved with the Belair. There's not a lot of top names in the women's division. So Belair facing Asuka is great right now, but I mean, they could continue a story-driven feud going on in the Backlash. Belair wins again, and then Flair, and then we, of course, the draft happens at some point, and then you have Belair versus Flair at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's title. And it looks like they're probably going to try to get Charlotte Flair to match her dad's title, many titles. She's at 14 right now. So if she drops this, goes and wins Raw Women's title, she'll be at 15, right under her dad at 16. And I wouldn't doubt and be surprised if they had her break the record. I'm serious. John Cena's right there. John Cena could win, could do that. But I bet you Ric Flair has some kind of control in this for his record, and he's probably going to want his daughter to break the record, I guarantee you. So at some point, we're going to see this. We're going to see this where Charlotte Flair breaks the record. To me, I mean, it's great. You won those many titles, but you also lost them too. So there's that to think about. But Belair, I'd say, wins this match, continues her reign. Asuka, at first I was on board with the new Asuka, and now it's kind of with the whole goo and stuff, you know, the mist that she spits. I'm not a fan of it. If they had eliminated that, I'd be more of a fan of this Asuka character. That's kind of cool with the new mask and the face paint. But Belair wins this match. Have her face Asuka again. Asuka loses again. We have Belair, Charlotte Flair, SummerSlam. Charlotte Flair gets drafted to Raw in the draft, a big shakeup. And then, of course, Ripley stays on SmackDown as SmackDown Women's Champion. That's the next match on my list. Belair retains the Raw Women's title. That's my pick. SmackDown Women's title. Flair versus Ripley. They have really put a lot of effort into this. With this, I mean, there could be more. It could be longer. After Ripley won the Royal Rumble, they could have had her go and started this story a lot sooner. So I would like to see, more of this, at least until the draft. But it looks, but I really want Ripley to win this match. Rhea Ripley is right there. She's good. Flair, we've seen this several times. And then there's talk of this being main event night 1. I don't want it to be main event night 1. I want it to be the undisputed tag team titles of Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and the Usos. That's main event night 1. But Ripley takes this over Flair. That's my pick. Now to the undisputed, now to Rollins versus Paul. Another match thrown together. My pick, I'd like to see Rollins. I mean, Logan Paul's great. He's probably the greatest celebrity we've seen come into WWE and really put a lot of effort and training into this. So I wouldn't be upset either way who wins this match, because I like Logan Paul. But I also like Seth Rollins. My pick, I say Logan Paul. That's who I'm going with. Logan Paul to beat Seth Rollins. And his contract's supposedly up here shortly. He probably has some creative control. And he'll probably like to go out on top. I say Logan Paul. Bad Bunny and Logan Paul. Even though I'm not a big fan of Bad Bunny's music, he has put some training and effort into his match too. And Backlash is going to be in Puerto Rico, and supposedly he's going to be there. It would be cool to see a Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny match at Backlash. That's a big celebrity. Who's the best celebrity wrestler? That would be a good story to go into that. I would like to see that, Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. Not main evented, but it'd be on the card. That would be a really fun match to watch. Who's the bigger celebrity wrestler? That would be fun to watch. But Logan Paul beats Seth Rollins. Now for the two big matches that I'm ready, that I think should main event night 1 and night 2. We're going to start off with night 1. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus the Usos. I'm so glad that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are a tag team now, and I hope they stick with that, and I hope they win this match, and they also retire these Raw and SmackDown tag team belts and bring in new tag team belt where it's only one tag team champion, WWE tag team champion. And then they retired the separated belts, create a new design for the WWE Tag Team titles. There was a rumor last year that they did make one. I'm not sure if it's approved or confirmed, like this new WWE World Heavyweight title that is going around that Triple H has approved. I hope he does the same thing with the tag team titles. So we shall see with this, how this goes, or they put one of them on the line and they lose it, and that belt goes back to their brand, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. I'm not sure which brand they're going to have them set on. Of course, there's word going around there's going to be a big draft after WrestleMania to kind of shake things up and check up the roster. I'm excited for it, but I just hope it leads to something, not just a draft and then we see these same guys on both shows. No, when a draft, if you're going to do a brand split and a draft, it needs to be done right. Not just do a brand split and draft, and then there's no rules involved, and they can just show up in any show. Either don't do a brand split, or do a brand split. Don't do a draft and there's no brand split. So I would like for them to get somebody else on board to be a general manager of a brand, Adam Pearce and whoever that is. I picked Paul Heyman. I think he'd be great, especially after this whole Bloodline story comes to an end. We could go that route where he does leave Roman Reigns, and it would be cool to see him as the GM of either Raw or SmackDown, and Adam Pearce the GM of the other. We have a big brand split draft, and Paul Heyman be a GM again. I think that would be great. I think that would be fun to watch. So I would like to see that happen with this brand split. My pick, the big Cinderella story, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeat the Usos, become the new tag team champions, and hopefully it's an end to this Bloodline storyline. And then we'll see what goes from there after WrestleMania. Big match, main event, night 2, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I've been a big Roman Reigns fan for a while. I've been a Roman Reigns fan since he started NXT. Even when a lot of people hated on Roman Reigns after the Shield, and they were like, oh, he's just another quote-unquote John Cena. They're going to shove him down our throats. Oh, here we go again. And then they booed him. Then he had his little leukemia deal, cancer deal happen. He left. And then the fans were like, ooh, I was shocked then. And then he comes back. And then when he comes back, then he had these guys and girls, conspiracy people, come out and say, oh, it was just a work for the story to get people to love Roman Reigns more. I'm no doctor. I don't know how quick or how long it takes to recover from that. So I'm not going to go that route. But that's Roman Reigns' personal issue. I wouldn't even make something like, because that's a serious issue. Cancer is a serious issue. So they come back, he comes back after that, and then all the fans love him. We love Roman Reigns. And then, due to the whole pandemic deal that happened, the 2020 shutdown, then he has to step away from a while because of his compromised immune system. Then he comes back, and he's the tribal chief. He is Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, and it's built up to this storyline for the past 3 years that I have loved. I loved how they built this. I loved how they wrote this. I loved how they continued this for so long. And we may or may not see it come to an end at WrestleMania. There's word that Triple H has not decided what he wants yet. And it's a hard decision because you have so much into this storyline. Do you end it now? And then you end it now, you got to start over. You got to start something new, something fresh. Or continue it, because Roman Reigns is going to hit the 1,000-day mark sometime next week, I think it is, or the week after. It's soon. And then you continue, and he's not going to break the record. The record was held by Bruno Sammartino. He was a champion for like 7 to 8 years. Okay, Roman is now going, if he wins this weekend, he will be going into year 4, passing the year 3 mark, going into year 4. He's got a long way to go to break that record, but I think he can break the Hogan record that was right behind San Martino. He can do that. I mean, I don't know. I'm bittersweet on this. I want Cody to win. Cody's my guy. As you can tell, the hat, Cody's my guy. I'm still a Roman Reigns fan if Cody does win, because Roman Reigns is awesome to me, especially with this whole tribal chief and how he just redone himself with this tribal chief. And many fans, they did this for people to hate him, but people love him now that he's the tribal chief and he is what he is now, the head of the bloodline. I was really hoping for the Rock versus Roman Reigns match this week for this, because the Rock coming in and Roman dropped the titles before WrestleMania to maybe Cody or Sami Zayn. We have a Cody versus Sami Zayn match, and the Rock comes in and just shuts down Roman Reigns, and it's this whole bloodline thing. I think that would have been so much more fun. But Rock isn't ring ready. A lot of people are making fun, saying, "Oh, well, he's healthy, he's in shape." There's a difference between being a gym healthy and wrestling ring ready. Ask any wrestler and they will tell you that it is a big difference than just being quote unquote in shape. Of course, being in shape helps, but there's a lot that goes into training for wrestling, especially the endurance, the cardio, and taking the bumps and things like that. There's a lot more into it. So The Rock, he probably isn't ring ready, and he has a lot on his plate right now. I don't even think he's doing a movie right now or a show. He's so focused on this XFL thing, which I'm a fan of, and I hope it continues for many years to come. So he's so focused on that, trying to build that up. Like, I don't even think he cares about doing movies now. I mean, he might when the XFL goes into their off season. That's when he can get a movie or two in, or a show, whatever. But he's focused on this XFL thing and making it bigger and having it succeed for many years to come. And The Rock's just not going to be ready for WrestleMania. There's rumor he will be next year, but they're confirmed to season 2 of XFL. You're probably going to see that again next. It's the same issue come up, or you may not, because it's already established. He don't need to put that much time and effort into it unless he's bringing in new teams or something, and he gets in ring shape and we have it, or just have it at SummerSlam. I mean, I'd love to see it for Hollywood WrestleMania, because Rock's like the biggest Hollywood star and a movie star in Hollywood. It would have been perfect for it to go there. Rock's retirement match. He's completely done with wrestling. Beautiful. But I love this Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns story as well. I mean, we got the best of both worlds going on with the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the tag team titles, and now Roman versus Cody for the undisputed titles. I want my pick is Cody. So I want Cody Rhodes to win. I want this thing to come to an end, and maybe the Usos turn on Roman Reigns. There's word has it that Solo Sikoa could turn on Roman. And if you don't agree, go look at the seeds. Go look at the seeds being planted. You have what the promo did with Cody last week. He said Solo wasn't ready. And then Solo was going to defy Roman Reigns there for a minute and go ahead and attack Cody. But then Roman Reigns got involved. He said, "You'll have your shot next week," which he did. Monday Night Raw this past week, he faced Solo, but he lost. Cody Rhodes beat Solo Sikoa, and I did not realize that Solo Sikoa was on an undefeated streak, and he ended the undefeated streak. So, that being said, also Monday night, they released the last Hollywood spoof commercial for with the Bloodline and the Goodfellas movie. I've never heard of this movie. I'm kind of interested in it now, but I probably won't watch it. Not a big mafia movie guy, but they do this spoof of the Goodfellas with Roman Reigns, Usos, Paul Heyman, and Solo Sikoa, which I hope they just call him Solo Uso or something, because he's their little brother. So this whole Solo Sikoa thing, I mean, it's cool. It's his own name, but I mean, we all know he's an Uso. So back to this. At the end of that commercial, in that commercial, Paul Heyman says Roman Reigns is a funny guy, and then Roman Reigns turns it on him and is like, "You think I'm a funny guy? You think I'm funny? Or you think I'm a funny tribal chief?" And gets all serious. And then Paul Heyman gets all serious, and then Then all of a sudden Roman starts busting out laughing, and Paul was like, "Hey, you got me." And then, so leading that up to the end of the commercial, Solo, in all seriousness, says, "You are a funny tribal chief," and that's it. That's where it ends. To me, I think that's a seed planted that Solo is going to cost Roman the titles. Maybe even the Usos get involved because the Usos lose the titles at WrestleMania. Roman doesn't help them. They cut a promo, maybe on night one or the night two, the beginning of night two, or do a little one of those digital exclusives backstage type things with Roman sitting down with the Usos, how disappointed he is. He gets all mad and upset, and he's like, "Y'all better," and something about y'all better be out there to help me win my title. Making it all about him. It's not about the family. Roman didn't come and help the Usos retain their titles. Why should they help him? And then you can see this whole big breakdown of the bloodline, and then the Usos and Solo Sikoa help Cody with the referee down, distracted or something, help Cody, and then Cody retains the titles at WrestleMania because the Usos and Sequoia turns on Roman Reigns, and the bloodline is broken. Usos go do their own thing or something, and we can even have a Solo Sequoia versus Roman Reigns at Backlash, something like that. That would be a good twist to the end of this whole thing, but the seeds are there. And then Cody and Solo proving himself that he is ready. He is ready to step up to the spotlight. He is ready to go off on his own. He doesn't need to be shadowed by Roman or the Usos. Maybe this is his way of proving himself that he is ready. Maybe we see another seed planted on Friday night on SmackDown. We'll see. I'm excited for this WrestleMania. I'm excited to see how this all comes to an end with the Bloodline stories and the Cena versus Theory match. I'm excited for the Undisputed Tag Team match. I didn't even go over the Lesnar versus Omos match. That match, it was just thrown together by Vince McMahon, I believe, because he has his hands on things now. My pick, Lesnar. There's that. But it's really one of those matches where it's probably going to be maybe 3-5 minutes long. Boom, done. Could be longer. I don't know. But not that thrilled on it. I'm going to watch it because I love Brock Lesnar. Omos is growing on me too. But I love how this whole bloodline story is going to come. Is leaving us on the edge. We don't know what's going to happen, especially now the reports coming out. Triple H is not even sure what he's going to do yet. It just keeps everybody. He probably is sure, and he's just saying that to lead us on even more, to let us tune in even more. And I like that because nothing gets confirmed or released, or where people are like, "Oh, well, I don't have to watch it now. I know who's going to win." Now you don't know who's going to win. And that's why I'm excited for it, because Triple H is leading us on. He's pulling our strings. Who is going to win? Now you have this rumor of a new title coming in. Who's going to win and bring in that new title? Is it going to be Cody, like he did the Intercontinental title back in 2011? He brought the old school classic look back. Will it be him to do the same thing with the WWE titles? Maybe so. Maybe so. We'll see. I'm excited for this. I'm ready for WrestleMania. I'm ready to see this. See how this all comes to an end, and then I'm hoping for a draft. And like I said, get 2 separate GMs for each brand, and they make this brand warfare, brand split thing interesting to watch. But I'm interested to see. But I'm ready for WrestleMania. Drop your predictions and your picks in the comments below. Subscribe and like this and share it anywhere you go. This is a new podcast I'm starting up, and I want to see this grow. I want to see my brand grow. So help a brother out. Subscribe. Hit that bell button so they'll get notified on new episodes. Hit the like button, and we'll see y'all tonight or possibly tomorrow for the AEW review. I'm going to watch it, depending on, I got a new son coming on the way. May not be able to get to the episode. My son's going to be born here shortly. He could come tonight. Not sure yet. Still in the waiting game. We're at the finish line now, folks. So they could put a bump in the road on the episodes tonight. So like I said, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified by new episodes, and also love wrestling. Don't be caught up in the old AEW is better, WWE is better, Impact's better, NWA is better. Don't be caught up in it. Just love wrestling. That's why I have Aaron Loves Wrestling, because I just love wrestling. Not one is better than the other. I love both shows. I find the good in both shows. I find I don't dwell on the negativity. I'll give my opinion on it and my thought. Yeah, I disagree. They shouldn't go that route, or they should just completely wipe that, as you have heard me in this episode already. But I just love wrestling. Love both shows. Enjoy both shows. Let's not do this whole AEW versus WWE. Who's better? Both have pros, both have cons, both have goods in them, both have bads in them. And you'll hear some from AEW side here shortly with another episode. So tune in, hit that bell button to know when I post that episode. Once I get things going, we'll do live episodes. So hit that bell button, subscribe button again, like it. Again, love wrestling. Peace out.